Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. There is a pressure on the National Assembly to make Lagos to have a special status so that federal government will be pumping money into Lagos for its development. They say this is because Lagos used to be the capital of Nigeria. But I'm making this video to say that the National Assembly must not fall into that trap of putting money into Lagos, because as a former capital of Nigeria, Lagos, we have been told now that Lagos, with due respect to patriotic Yoruba people, but we have been told that Lagos now under Bola Ahmed Tinubu had been reduced from being a former capital of Nigeria to a Yoruba provincial city, to the level that in the last election, Nigerians were threatened, who are not of Yoruba extraction, that they have no business voting in Lagos or interfere in politics of Lagos. And even before then, as I will prove in this video, non-Yorubas were told that it was the Yorubas that built Lagos and that nobody has any business to talk about Lagos, or to say that Lagos is no man's land, or to say that Lagos is a former capital that everybody is a major stakeholder. So since Lagos has been reduced to a provincial city, basically for the Yorubas, and if you're not a Yoruba person, your house can be demolished at will. You are not supposed to vote in Lagos. You are threatened and all that. It will be an insult on Nigerians, especially those from oil producing states, that their money will be used to spend for Lagos as a city of special status because it was a former capital. Because they were telling us that Lagos was built by one man. They were regaling us about how Tinubu built Lagos. No other person contributed anything. This is despite the historical fact that Lagos became the capital of Nigeria in 1914. Since 1914, the money of Nigerian, all parts of Nigeria, were involved in the development of Lagos as a capital of Nigeria. This same Lagos was where Zik was elected in 1946 to the Lagos Council, Lagos City Council. But today, Bayo Nanuga in 2023 say that Igbos, this is the last time Igbos should to interfere in politics of Lagos. And then you want to take oil money from South and Southeast and go and put in Lagos under the guise that Lagos is a special status. I disagree with that, and I will tell you why I disagree with that. And I want the National Assembly to disagree with that. Putting money in Lagos. Let them develop the Lagos since they have been developing. They say they are the one that created Lagos and made it what it is today. They should look for money. They can borrow money from World Bank. They can borrow money from IMF. Lagos state government is already the most indebted state government in Nigeria. Can also borrow money from anywhere and develop Lagos and demolish anybody's house at will, as they are doing, who is not from of Lagos descent or whatever. Now, before I go into why Lagos does not deserve to be given special status, especially as long as it continues to be under the control of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the godfather. If you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, how did this story come about? How did I get to know about this? The First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has publicly committed to advocating for a special status for Lagos State through the National Assembly. She made the pledge in response to a renewed appeal by the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, who emphasized the unique position of Lagos as the former federal capital of Nigeria. Addressing the long-standing request, Senator Oluremi Tinubu assured the monarch that Lagos representatives in the National Assembly will attend to the matter. The First Lady, who was at the palace of the Oba in the company of the wives of some of the Southwest governors, wives of National Assembly members, wives of some ministers, and wives of service chiefs, paid the Oba visit in his palace in Lagos. Now, I want to tell you about this Oba that is asking for special status. Means that oil money from South, and Southeast will be used to create this special status for Lagos. I want to tell you, and I give you a link. Go and read this newspaper that I pin on this screen. Go and read them. That's why people like us are here. So that when they think we have forgotten, when they think that everybody has forgotten, we remind them of their record. So go and read in full about this story I'm about to tell you now. In 2015, this same Oba of Lagos allegedly warned that anyone that does not vote Ambode will be thrown into the lagoon. It was a threat he allegedly made to warn the Igbos against voting against the All Progressive Congress candidate Akinwumi Ambode. The traditional ruler reportedly warned that if they repeat what they did on March 28, 2015, when they voted for presidential candidates of the PDP, the then President Goodluck Jonathan, then they should be ready. They should be ready to dance to the tune of his flute. At the time, there were strong indications that Igbos residents in Lagos, when they talk about Igbos in Lagos, even if you are from Benin, if you are from Edo, they will call you Igbo. Even if you are from Delta, they will say you be Igbo. If you are from Cross River, they will term you Igbo. If you are from Akwa Ibom, you are Igbo. If you are from Delta, anywhere you are, as long as you are not a Yoruba, you are from southern Nigeria, they will say you are Igbo. So that threat was for everyone from those areas. Even if you come from River State, as far as they are concerned, you'll be Omo Igbo. Now, at the time, because you know that Jonathan that time was overwhelmingly voted for by people of South House and Southeast extraction. At least I'm sure most of us are aware of this. So he was threatening to say that they shouldn't try what they did by voting for PDP presidential candidate Jonathan. Now, at the time, there were strong indications that Igbos resident in Lagos will vote for the PDP candidate Jimmy Agbaje. Now, this Oba that won special status for Lagos, that it was a former capital, that time he didn't remember that Lagos was a former capital. That all Nigerians, when you hear about that Nigeria has so much money, it didn't have anything, you don't know what to do with it. as attributed to go on. Most of that money, almost 70 to 80% of that money that they say they don't know what to do with it, we are spent in Lagos. But Lagos, we are told, now belong to certain people. And this Oba was widely reported in the media for warning that anybody who didn't vote for APC candidate will be dealt with, literally. And they said he gave the warning during a meeting with some Igbo leaders in Lagos. Today he wants money, national money, to be pumped into Lagos because Lagos has special status. On what basis? It's no longer the federal capital territory of Nigeria. And those who claim that they own it have already claimed it. Now, the foundation that this Oba laid was also built on by Bayo Onanuga. Because this Oba made his threat in 2015. By 2023, Bayo Onanuga and co. up the ante of threats against those they perceive to be non-stakeholder in Lagos. Bayo Onanuga, building on what Oba's threats of 2015, said that 2023 is the last time Igbo people will interfere in the politics of Lagos State. And that threat by him has an endorsement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because if not, with the uproar and condemnation that he generated, are you surprised that he was the person that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made his special assistant on information and strategy? He gave him a position that is of a ministerial status. He is equal to a ministerial position. He's like a minister. I think that his salary and the minister's salary are the same. So after his bigotry and everything, he was rewarded for the things he said, for putting the Igbos in their place, that Lagos does not belong to them. And I want you to take note of what Bayo Onanuga said at the time. He said that Bayo Onanuga in 2023 warned Igbos that 2023 is the last time they will interfere in politics in Lagos. So only God knows what they are planning to do to them in 2027. Because in 2023, they say that's the last time they should interfere. And then he went on to stress that Lagos State is like Anambra, Imo, and other states in Nigeria. So if Lagos State is like other states in Nigeria, according to Bayo Onanuga, who is now the spokesperson of the president, on what basis should Lagos State have a special status and will be pumping money to Lagos as if it is NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission? On what basis that is? Is it a special? Should he desire? Bayo Onanuga is telling us that Lagos is no different from Imo State. It's no different from Anambra State. It's no different from any other state in Nigeria. So why should National Assembly succumb to provide a special place, a special status for Lagos under the guise that it was a former capital? So what? It was a former capital, but they say it wasn't a former. The way they projected it was like it wasn't a former capital. It was a city that was built by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which now belongs to the Yorubas. So why should they use taxpayers' money nationally? The allocation for Lagos State should be enough to take care of Lagos. Should be enough to take care of Lagos. And if they are complaining that Lagos is still bearing the strain of East Pass as a federal capital, they should decongest Lagos. Abuja is the new intern now. Abuja is the capital of Federal Republic of Nigeria. We know that tomorrow the Gwaris may rise up and say that they are the ones that build Abuja. Everybody should leave Abuja for them. But right now, Abuja is the federal capital territory of the nation. That is a fact. So if they are saying that Lagos is still congested, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. They should decongest Lagos. It is no longer the capital. Now, one of the things that is making Lagos appear to be busy and congested is the ports that are in Lagos. Those ports that are in Lagos is a statement to the federal government to liberalize the port system in Nigeria so that the Lagos port will be serving the southwest. Businessmen in Lagos and the whole of the southwest should be using the Lagos port for their import and export. Then make the eastern ports, the ports in Port Harcourt, the ports in Sapele, the ports in Warren, the port in Ibom, Akwa Ibom State, Calabar Port. Let all those ports be dredged and make as viable as Lagos Port, so that people of south and southeast who are into business will have no business to be living in Lagos, so that they move down to those regions and be doing their business, their import and export through Port Harcourt, through Calabar Port, through Ibom Port, through Sapele Port, through Warren Port. Let all those eastern ports be working, so that Lagos, there will be no need for anybody to complain that Lagos is congested or there's a stress on Lagos. No. When you make all the other ports to be working, many of the people who are doing import and export that are based in Lagos will leave Lagos, and there will be more space. There will be more space. Lagos is a very tiny place. Geographically, it's not that large. So that people will leave Lagos, so that there will be no basis for federal government to go and put money in Lagos under the guise of a special status. Because one of the things that is business people who go to do business in Lagos, those are basically the reason. It's not because of ministry or government work that where people are plenty in Lagos. It's the private sector. And if the private sector could see that they can do their business effectively, import and export, through the eastern ports. So when you do that, Lagos will be freer. Lagos will have more space. There will be no basis. So that is the solution to decongest Lagos, and not for federal government to go and put money inside Lagos under the guise that Lagos was a former capital. Lagos is no longer behaving like a former capital of Nigeria. It doesn't behave as if it is a city that was founded and made capital of Nigeria since 1914. That is a city where Louis Ojukwu became the first president of Nigerian Stock Exchange, the first billionaire in Nigeria. But today we are told, if that man had been alive today, they would tell him that he should go back to Anambra State. He cannot vote. They will block him from voting for a governor, Sir Louis Ojukwu. The first billionaire in dollar, black man in Africa. He made his mark in Lagos. But despite his contribution in being the first chairman and building the stock exchange house in Lagos, he would have been declared that on that election day that he cannot come out to vote. That's how they have, Tinubu and co have reduced Lagos. And now they want money of South and Southeast and oil money to be pumped into Lagos. The one they pumped into Lagos during the oil boom, now they claim it doesn't belong to all Nigerians. It belongs to only the Lagosians, the Yorubas. And to be frank, I'm not saying that the whole of the Yorubas would have that mentality. But the silence of the majority as people like Onanuga and the Oba of Lagos were making their threats, cannot be taken for granted. So I don't think that Lagos deserve to be given any special status. And I hope that the National Assembly don't fall into the trap of granting the Tinubus that leverage, because they are in charge now. They will now make Lagos to have a special status when they say that Lagos does not belong to all Nigerians anymore. Their aides were insulting people, saying, you cannot vote, you are not a Lagosian. Don't you ever say that Lagos is a no man's land. And nobody was saying that Lagos is a no man's land. The fact of the matter remains that Lagos was the capital of Nigeria. It was capital of Nigeria. Much of our resources was wasted in land Lagos. When people like Professor Soyinka is saying that they were a wasted generation, Lagos was among the wasted resources we poured into it. Most of that wasted resources was poured into Lagos. The mainland bridge and everything you see, these were oil money that were used to build them. But today we are told they were built by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the man who built Lagos. And his lieutenants are telling people, unless you are Yoruba, you have no basis to play a role in Lagos politics and all that. So when you have that kind of mentality, why should federal government put money in Lagos under the guise that Lagos was a former capital? I thought that Lagos, they were the ones that built it from scratch. They were the ones that used their own resources and built Lagos since 1914, when the colonial masters made it the capital of Nigeria. National Assembly can only do that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu is no longer the godfather of Lagos. And Lagosians realize that their city was like every other major city around the world, that is built by people from all over the place. It wasn't built by any one ethnic group, by any one race, by any single man. Then we can begin to talk about putting money in Lagos. But right now, with the kind of mentality that is rampant in Lagos now, planted by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his aides, I think it will be an insult on taxpayers of Nigeria from other parts of Nigeria to use their money to give Lagos a special status. Now, this National Assembly we have is a rubber stamp. I wouldn't be surprised if they will grant it to Lagos. But if they do, despite people like us pointing out why they should not, the next administration must make sure that they cancel it in 2027. That's my take on this matter. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.